Eric Long writes, hello, sons and daughters of AMC. Love you guys. You guys do a good show. Do you think there is anything we can do as fans to demand Hollywood to give us better films? There are a lot of films that make a lot of money at the box office where our majority of people think they are horrible. Of course, it's hard to tell because after you see the movie, the studio has your money, and it was wasted on a bad film. Should we rely on word of mouth and someone just takes the bullet for the bad movie and let the rest of us know whether to go see it?
Well, I appreciate the plight of all of us as film goers. That one of the interesting things about films, kind of like something you order at a restaurant, you don't really know until you get in front of you and you actually consume it. And some people will like it and some people won't. That's just the nature of film. But this whole concept, this is something that I have to go against an awful lot. There's this concept out there that people in Hollywood don't try to make good movies. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I have never met a director or an actor or whatever. I mean, sometimes, you hear actors didn't really give it their full effort, whatever. But there has never been a studio film made where the filmmakers involved did not want to make the absolute best movie they could. The reason Avengers, hey, a flighty comic book movie, right? The reason it made like almost $2 billion worldwide is not just because 50 or 200 million of them went to go see an opening weekend. It's because they made it good and made it great, and they know if you make it good and great, more people will come to see it, and they'll come back to see it a second, third time. That's what studios want. Studios don't just want your opening weekend dollar, that they trick you into go seeing because of a good trailer. They want you to love it, want you to bring other people who haven't seen it, and want you to go see it again and again and again. So this whole idea of let's petition Hollywood to make better movies, they're trying, but it's not easy. I am a filmmaker. I've made films. It ain't easy to make a good film.
No.
I've yet to make a good film. I've made a film that I really like, but nothing that I would want to put in front of a North American audience. I mean, doing that, making any piece of art and having it something that everybody would love, that is a next to impossible feat. And so when a great movie comes along, it's just that much more of a reason to celebrate it because it is a near impossible accomplishment to make a great, good film. But believe me, they try. But I'm also going to stand against you in this whole notion that most of the big blockbuster things people think are horrible. It's not true.
No.
I mean, look, Avengers, Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2. I mean, all these things we can talk about. But just look at last year. I mean, whether it's a couple years ago, Django Unchained, last year, Captain Phillips. I mean, there's so much great cinema produced every year. Is there a whole boatload of crap too? Absolutely there is. No denying it. But amongst that crap is also some real great stuff. So I can't jive with you on that. I can't get in sync with you on your philosophy on that. But anyway, Alicia, how do you see it?
I mean, look at this week's box office. We've got Noah at #1,
Yeah.
and that's an excellent movie. So I agree that it doesn't necessarily mean top of the box office, bad film, but I would say that that's the point of reviewers, is to go and see the film first and let you know what we think of it, and then you can decide whether you want to see it or not.
Right.
So I would say to Eric to look up reviews of some of his favourite movies and see if there's a reviewer who maybe has the similar taste as he does, and then maybe he can use that as a guide before he goes to see a film. He could read a review and just get a sense of whether he would like it or not before he spends his hard-earned money.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like the analogy of like how you said someone takes a bullet for you. Then there's also people take the happy bullet. Like it's like, hey, I love this movie. It wasn't it wasn't painful at all. You have to find someone, a critic. Like when I was a kid, it was Roger Ebert, and like even though he would hate a movie, because I read so many of his reviews, I would know I would like it because I knew his sensibility. So.
Right.
Even though he would say certain reasons why he didn't like certain things, that would be like, oh, now I'm definitely seeing it, Or if he liked something it would be the opposite. Nah, I'll wait. I'll see it when it comes out on video or whatever. But yeah, you have to, unless you just want to blindly go see movies, which is also I highly suggest, because then you'll develop your own sensibility. You don't need to rely on anyone else. You'll actually become a critic. You're on your own. I would highly recommend seeing every single film you possibly can and enjoy it that way, and then write your own reviews. But if you need to have someone else tell you what to see, find someone who's in your realm of sensibilities and use them as a gauge. You can go back, especially on the internet now, and find out all the other films that they reviewed and what they did or didn't like. So that's the way to rock. So
it comes down to this. It's the same in film as it is for a lot of things, whether it's restaurants or the clothes you want to buy, or the shoes you want to wear, or whatever. Before investing any amount of money, a lot of times we'll jump on Yelp or we'll jump on something online to check reviews. What are other people saying about this? And that's why I've always been an advocate for film critics. I'm not a film critic myself. I do review films, but I'm not a film critic. But I've always advocated film critics because if you don't get a collection of film critics who you like, don't confuse that with what you always agree with. But a film critic you like and trust and kind of know their sensibilities, like Schnepp was saying, and listen to them. If you don't do that, then the only voice you're listening to is the marketing arm of a studio telling you what to see. So you should, I always encourage people to balance that out by reading off some critics that you trust and understand with the marketing of the film. And then if you don't get out to see opening weekend, yeah, absolutely, check to see what other people are saying and see what they think. I mean, we do it with everything else, no reason not to do it with film. But, you know, if you want to start developing your own critical mind, I like what Schnepp, you're suggesting too. Just go see as many things as you can, go in as blind as you can, and start developing your own way of analyzing things.
It's hard these days, though, to stay away from reviews, stay away from marketing, and be completely fresh. I mean, I count myself so lucky that I get to see movies before the general public. So often I do go in blindly, and then I can say quite cleanly whether I like it or not. But yeah, I agree, find a reviewer that you agree with or you find the same sensibility, and then you might be able to have a better guide as to what to see.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.